Hey guys, so welcome back. We've got ourselves a little transistor radio here. I think this is from the early 60s. I'll find out exactly in a minute. Bought it, I think, last year at some point from an auction. I paid $8 for it. Let's take a look at what we have. Now, I opened this thing up last summer just to make sure there wasn't a battery inside corroding everything up. I haven't opened it up since then, so we'll take a look. Let's let you have a good look at it. I don't see any civil defense markings, CONORAD markings on here, so I'm going to say this is after 63. So we got a tuner here. It's got a handle. I've seen that these things came with a leather case. This one does not have one, as you can see. It's good enough. And we have a volume. Yeah, that's all the way up, and that's down then. Okay, that's the off switch. And turn around and look at the back. I don't see any cracks on this anywhere. It looks like it's in pretty decent shape, scuffed up, of course. So we got an earphone connection here. I don't know what that is. We got one screw. Let's get this thing open. I've got a screwdriver. This will work. Alright, it's holding us up here. Okay, just a snug fit. Okay, that's right, it's got a 9-volt battery connection. Style connection. We've got a printed circuit board, nice. Oh, we got a broken part, okay. Ferrite antenna is broken off here. I can't tell if that looks like that's got glue on it, or I can't tell. I do know that this has something interesting about it, and I'm not going to get a little glimpse of it right in there. That right there. You can see a little something of it in there, I'm not sure. But the center of the cone of the speaker has a single wire sticking up through the middle of it. This has a reed type speaker, similar that they used to have a long time ago. And so what it means is it doesn't have a proper voice coil like we're familiar with anymore. And as a result, this thing does not need an output transformer. So it's going to be interesting to take a look at that if this thing still works. I don't see any sign of battery leakage, damage, or anything like that. This is the only damage I see. Alright, so what I'd like to do is let's go ahead and get some power to this thing and see if we can get any life out of it. Okay, here's our model number. I did write this down when I took some pictures of it last summer. So this is the black version, so this is a P807J. And 9-volt battery. It looks very clean, really. Okay, let's get something to this. All right, so I've got my regulated power supply back here. I've got it on. I turned it on so we could see. Make sure I set the shot up. We could read the voltage here. This is on an isolation power transformer. I've just got all of my, test voltage sources going through my isolation transformer just because I don't forget when I might need it. Alright, and I do have the possibility of putting a dim bulb in here, but instead what I've done is I've rigged up an ammeter. But that's not going to do me any good. That's an AC ammeter. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, I have this set up properly now, I think. So we got positive coming here, negative. This is just going to the power supply for this. Okay, get this turned down. Let's turn it on and see what we get. And turn it on. Okay, it's on. Bring the voltage up, slow. We're getting motor boating. We're at 3 volts. We're moving 10 milliamps. 20 milliamps. 30 milliamps. Okay, I'm turning the tuning condenser here. Okay. Definitely getting some motor boating. This just means it's like a capacitor. I'm going to check to make sure I don't have a broken trace through here, because that gets pretty close to it. And maybe we'll try some of these capacitors, check them out. Because that sounds like a capacitor there, that's motor boating. Okay, I'm going to open this thing up and take a look at some of the capacitors in here. It looks like maybe there's been some work done here. So I'm going to check to see check the capacitors out, and I'm going to make sure that I don't have a damaged trace there with this piece broke off here, and make sure that none of the lines got disconnected. Let me get that going. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, so we've got speaker leads that are soldered on, and you can see that little speaker arrangement there I was talking about. You should have like a little pin, there you can see it. It's got like a little pin or a needle that's in the center of the speaker cone. And that goes up into this magnet, and what it is it's between 2 poles of the magnet. And the magnet sits there and has the field going across it, and that little stylus goes back and forth, and that's what creates the sound. So as a result, this won't have an output transformer. The size of that capacitor, will you? This one looks like it's been replaced. I'll get the schematic out and we'll check this out. Also, we'll check to make sure our problem isn't this earplug here. But no, we were getting noise out of the speaker. There's our oscillator coil. Okay, let me get this set up where I can start checking these capacitors. Let me get the schematic and identify what these guys are. Okay, so I've gone through with the ESR meter and checked out the capacitors that are in here. I have the schematic here. We've got the big one is here, and then we've got some other, I think there's a total of 4 electrolytics here, 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 and I don't know, but I found it out here. So the electrolytics are obviously this guy. This is the large one, the 500 microfarad one. And then this one here is an 8. And then the other 2 look like transistors. They're these guys right here. And these are 3 microfarad. This I think is okay. This is dead, open. And these are nearly open or are open. Let me just show you those. First we'll start with the big one. Now he's 500 microfarads at 10 volts. So he's going to be on the order, this is just a little chart I stole somewhere, 470 microfarads at 10 volts. This is on the order of like 150 milliohms. So let's set this up where maybe you can see it. It'll look almost like a short circuit, but not really. Okay, I'm going to try to get this. All right. So it'll be kind of in this zone right over here. So that's a short. And it's not quite a short. It might be a little bit on the high side, but I think it's not going to keep it from working. So let's check this guy right here. This is the 8. Nothing. The thing is like completely open. Okay. No movement. The other two are back here. That is here. A little bit over 15 ohms. And then the other one is, looks like it's here. And it's about 8 or 9. So these are both, I think, a little high, but this one's definitely open. Maybe I'll try changing this one out first and we'll see what we get. Now while I'm at it, let me check that trace that may be damaged here. So this is where the ferrite antenna is knocked off here. I do believe somebody tried to glue this once upon a time. I see like little remnants of glue here. Get sure you can see that. You can see where it looks like little remnants of glue around that crack. What I'm going to try to do is see if I've got continuity of this trace going through here. It looks like I should, but I'll just try solder pads from here and on this side of the solder mask so I can see if we can just verify we have continuity past that area. If not, I can rig up a jumper. Alright, so we'll go here and here. Oh, I don't get anything. Let me make sure. I'm getting nothing. Okay, I'm going to stick it right through the coating. Okay. Come on now. Got here to here. Okay, here to here. Somehow I'm not getting continuity across that screw hole. Heck, I'll rig up a jumper. Then we don't need to worry about it. Okay, let me get that hooked up and we'll see what we get. I'm also going to go ahead and change that capacitor out and then we'll see what difference we get. Okay, I've got a 8 microfarad capacitor here that I can put, actually it's a 10 that I can put in for that. And but first I thought I would check to see if this jumper would make any difference, because that's obviously got a problem. So let me turn the voltage back on. And I brought it in so you could see the radio a little bit better. I'll have to call out what the voltage is. There's our motor boating. That's at 2.5 volts, 3 volts, 4 volts, 5 volts. That's far enough. I'm at 5.5 volts. Alright, so let's see. I can pick it up here. Well, that takes care of our motor boating. But it kills everything too. I'm going to go ahead and solder a jumper on there because this is going to keep falling off. Let me do that and bring it back. Okay, so we got our jumper put on. And we'll go back to our, see how this thing's performing now. Let's see how it does. Power coming on. I hear voices. Honest, I heard voices. Got it about 6.5 volts. It's off. Let's volume up. Okay, I was hearing some voices there for a moment. Did I short something or yank an antenna wire out? No, it looks okay. Let's see if this does anything. It does. Okay, hang on. Oh no, now I'm hearing stuff all the time. Okay, the negative lead. Appears to be here. And the positive lead appears to be here. Okay, let me get that capacitor changed out. I think the other two are going to need to go too because you hear how it sounds. But let me get that changed out, bring it back. Okay, this one I'm putting in is a 10 microfarad at 50 volts, so I'm kind of overkilling this in both ways, but it'll work. Okay. The one I pulled out of there, I thought it had been replaced, maybe not. It says it's hello, wake up. Focus, please. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's an 8 microfarad at 15 volts. Is that the 35th week of 1963? It's possible. Notice the bottom of it is all poked out. Yeah, so this thing was bad. Alright, we got this one in. We'll see if we still have the performance we were getting a while ago, and then we'll see what we can do from there. Alright. Let's get the power hooked up. Let me back you up. Okay. Power hooked up. Get my soldering stuff out of the way. Alright. Power on. switch came undone. Okay.
John Lennon is just not my cup of tea. All right, you're entitled to be wrong every now and then. Ah, take a shot as you get out the door, Gary. Way to go.
This was it.
All right, brother. Thanks. Call me next week. That's Gary from Jack.
So we had a broken trace that somehow damaged this one line that no longer had continuity, and then we had a bad capacitor. Those others, you know, were kind of borderline, I think, on ESR. I could change them, but since it's working, I think I'm tend to just leave them alone.
He win? I didn't even know. Yeah.
I like the sound from that speaker with the reed. A minute ago I sprayed this. I'm going to spray it one more time to get it clean, but I think it's okay. Just using this.
It's interesting where you're going with that. I think that, first off, this is not a TV show punk. Don't play with matches. Don't play with fire. He's dead and he's done just that.
Sorry, I know that's a trademark Shango rule move. I have no right.
Only you can prevent forest yourself with our group. And aim for white and listen.
Okay, I'm going to try to get this antenna epoxied back in place, and then I'll let it set for quite a while. So I'm going to let that happen, get that epoxy back up, and then later on I'll go in and see if we can touch up the alignment somewhat, but I think we're there. So like anything else, you got to figure out how you're going to clamp something before you put the glue to it. So I think that'll work. Alright, I think I've got just a little bit left out of this. Maybe I don't. If I don't, I got another bottle. Let's see what we get out of this. Anything? Yeah, no need to waste. But I think that's the end. Hey Fix, doesn't that stink? Yeah. I was going to open the garage door, but it's hot outside. So I'm trying to get this done quick so I don't pass out right in front of you. Let's see. Had to run to the store to buy some wax paper. My wife said, of course we don't have wax paper. Nobody uses wax paper anymore. I said, you're kidding. I'll use baking spray and so forth. Well, I don't think it would work in my case here. Okay. Let's see what we can do here, kids. I sure don't need a lot, and I don't need that dropping on the speaker. Okay. I'm doing a pretty good job of getting it all over everything. Okay. Okay. I think I do have it where I need it. Using wax paper this time. You watched my work on the Emerson radio, you remember I said I forgot. That was what you're supposed to use with epoxy. That's my problem here. Okay. Like that. Now if I get this clamp stuck to this printed circuit board, epoxied to it, I bet you guys tease me. Okay, I think that's about got it. And we're going to leave that set for a while. Okay, it's been about an hour and a half. It's supposed to take 24 hours to cure, but handling after 30 minutes. So let's just see how we do. I can always redo it. Hey, the clamp came off. Let's see if the wax paper worked. Left behind a little bit of wax, probably. I could have made that up a little tighter, I guess. The question is, will it work? I bet it will. I bet it'll work fine. Okay. Not perfect, but it'll be all right. Okay, so let's see here. Let's go like that. This goes like so. All right, let's go ahead and see how it does on doing a little quick alignment here. Okay, we'll take care of the pot. So while I'm doing this, it says here that the speaker, this little coil right here, is 510 ohms at 1000 hertz. So that is not your typical voice coil, is it? And we got a driver and a single output transistor. So we got our converter, first and second IF, driver, output. And we got, this is our oscillator, converter, the oscillator coil right here, tank circuit. And then we got 3 IF stages here. So the order of alignment would be 1, 2, 3. Then we'll get the oscillator at 1630 gain fully open, and then we'll do a antenna adjustment. It says at 1400, but probably what I'll do is I may do this, but then I'll check it against a weak station in that area. Try to do a better job of this. See how this Bondic works. Now, if anything, that'll hold it in place well while the epoxy goes through its 24-hour cure, and it's held in a better spot too. So I think that's going to be okay. Okay. Oh, I did lose the antenna. Okay, let me get this fixed. Lost the antenna connection right here.
Times in NBA history has anybody ever gone 30, 20, and 10?
Okay, so we're going to do an alignment here at 455. You guys have seen me do this before, so I'm not going to go through and show it all. But I'm arranging my frequency generator at 455 kilohertz. I've got a guy here. I'm going to loosely couple it to the antenna somewhere. Or maybe I'll just use a coil. Hold on a second. Let me get a coil. Okay, I've got a coil. And let's get the signal going. You can hear it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is turn it down low, double check my frequency, 455.0, turn the volume up all the way. I think that's loud enough. Okay. Find something to twiddle it with. Hold on. It said go to 1630. And this should be with the gain fully open. Gain fully open. Modulation coming on. Don't hear anything. Okay. I believe the oscillator is this one. Come on. You see how far I have to go before I can hear it. Okay, the gain is fully open. What frequency am I at here? Wow. It's currently set at 1456. Alright then. So turn it up. This will tell me which direction to turn it. I'm going to go counterclockwise. Okay. Now where am I? It's really sensitive. There he is. Okay, it's at 1542. Let's try about 1590. To do it in steps because it's kind of easy to go past it. finally, what did you say? 1630? Yeah, 1630. 1630, okay. Camera quit recording. So anyway, I'm going to put the board back in so that the antenna is in the correct position before I finish tuning the antenna location. This antenna for that antenna location. I think it's about there. Okay, and we're at 9 volts. So let me switch to the battery.
Selling the answer. Okay, well, we've talking this show about the official title is the what? Several hours later. Back it up. Well, my friends, we do. Not enough power on the grid to meet all the it was like able to rebuild it. And yes, the residual effects of traffic will come over to me. I live 12.5.
Okay, I think this is working really well. I'm going to clean the cabinet up a little bit. I did some work on this already, and it was mainly about cleaning, but I used some Novus on it, and that really helped. I'm going to do some more on it on here just to kind of clean up some of this and put it back together again. Yeah, I could tell this could come off because I saw these 3 screws, or some screws, that were holding the tuning condenser to this plate here. I could see where they came in there. So I'm going to see if I can get some of this cleaned up. What do you think? Let's see if we can make it look a little better. So I think that helped a little bit. Yeah, I think it did. Okay, let's see what I can do to the front. Okay, I think that looks a lot better. Okay, that's looking quite a bit better there, much cleaner. That's starting to look pretty good.
authorization of section 7.
Okay guys, so we're back out here at the park. We finished this little project. This is kind of a neat little radio, really. It's not going to win any awards by any means, but you know what? It performs really, really well. I like to carry it out here to the park sometimes when I'm out here walking the dog, or around the house or in the garage. There was a radio that I didn't bother putting out a video on. It was a Corvair. I'll pop a picture up of it here. I went to repair this and started videoing it, and it just turned out to be that it needed a cleaned volume pod, and it needed the tuning condenser kind of freed up a little bit, but that turned out to be the whole problem with it, so I never bothered making a video on it. But I was carrying it around and using it, listening to the ball games and things, and it has a speaker about this big, and it didn't really perform that great. You know, it's hard to hear it unless you put it kind of close to you. This is something different. I'm actually pretty amazed at how well this little reed speaker works in here. It projects really fantastic, and I've been using this radio a lot for listening to games and having it on in the garage or in the, when I'm working on projects and things, and it's been a handy little thing to come follow around with me on. Now it's got a ferrite rod antenna that's about this far. It picks up better than that Corvair does, but it's directional. You have to turn it to point towards stations and things, and as you might expect. So I mean, it's just a nice little radio that you can use. And
If your child is sick over and over again,
I mean, as you can see, this thing has a lot of sound.
the immune system. Early testing gives children a chance to drink.
I'll just run through it real quick.
Which is really bad. The goal is let's just draft for talent. Rookie out on the field that you're now taking forward and saying, you know what? I made that mistake last. Better. You know what? I think I can do this. And where does that amongst one of those, like you talk about? There would not be a Voice of Texas. We stand behind her. Request your free info kit on gold IRAs right now. Knows it, and I'm sure guys look up there and know it themselves. It makes me feel good.
You get a distant station, you can turn it up.
El especial de todos los días, compadre, chécale. Especial de todos los días. Hillary Furniture. Free delivery. Means something. Not only showing in his mind that the majority was wrong.
You hear little stations in the distance and turn them up, it receives pretty well. Okay, anyway, so there you go guys. Appreciate you watching me work on this thing. It was really pretty interesting. It had a cracked board, and that had caused a trace to, I guess, get a crack that cut that trace off. It probably cut off a circuit to a capacitor that then created motorboating, and then we found we also had a capacitor that was completely open. And we found that, got that replaced, and there we go. I think we got a nice little radio. So appreciate you guys watching this short one, and we'll see what comes up next. So until then, thanks. See you later. Bye. Yeah, so here's that other little walk-around radio I was talking about. I fixed this several months ago. I've been using it as my little radio to carry around with me. I picked it up at an auction. I don't remember what I paid for it, $3 or something like that. Anyway, it's kind of a neat little radio. Corvair. I did not pay $20 for it. And somebody put on here pre-1964 because it has Conelrad markings on it. I think that's one right there. It's like a little triangle. Yeah. And then the other one is there. And it's just a little Hong Kong radio. And it's directional, and it works pretty well. A lot of times I use it with one of these things. You haven't ever tried one of these?
Lefties at 357 behind just the Rangers. 1-1. Foul back to the screen on the 2. And it's 1-2. 96 on that last fastball.
Thomas with that lengthy.
Really makes a big difference. Really makes a big difference.
And last night, that fair as well.
Anyway, it's a cool little radio. You say it just needed cleaning of the volume control switch and the you couldn't turn the tuner, so I had to get in there and lubricate it up. Anyway.
On that off day, he loves to fish. He's from Florida, and he was one of the guys that I have a picture on my wall. At Williams, Darren Lewis, I think Mike Jackson was on there.
Getting ready for the ball game. You guys take care. See you later.
There's
Bye.
about 10 of us. We went fishing in between New York and Philadelphia. We had an off day, and you know, we had a good time. You know, we had a very good time. And so these are times that you look back upon and you say, hey, man.
That's
you
Dusty
know,
Baker talking, if you guys want to know.
But, you know, I was the batting coach before that. And there's on those off days, you're no longer the manager, you're a teammate. And then as soon as, you know, the witching hour turns to midnight, you're back to being a manager again. So it was, yeah, we had some fun. And, but he did tell me, he goes, hey, man, when he got up on that off day, he didn't think we were going to go fishing because it was hot out there. It was really hot. We stepped off that plane, coming back from Cleveland. You know, we know we're back in Houston.
Absolutely. Dusty Baker, Astros manager. Thanks for joining us. Good luck tonight.
All right, Robert Ford, thank you.
Back with more of Astro Launch right after this.